Imagine yourself caught in the relentless grip of urban congestion, the cacophony of honking horns and screeching brakes assaulting your senses. You glance at the clock on your dashboard, the digits flashing a cruel reminder that you're running late for an important meeting. Your heart begins to race, frustration bubbling up like a pot about to boil over. But then, amidst this chaos, you pause. You take a deep breath and pose a pivotal question to yourself. What can I control right now? This moment of reflection is not just a fleeting thought. It's a gateway into the profound Stoic philosophy that has guided countless individuals through life's tumultuous seas. Stoicism, an ancient school of philosophy founded by Zeno of Citium in the early 3rd century BC, offers more than mere theoretical musings. It provides practical strategies for managing our reactions to life's unpredictable nature. At its core, Stoicism posits a liberating truth. While external events might seem beyond our grasp, our responses to these events are entirely within our power. This fundamental belief was eloquently captured by Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and philosopher, who once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." His words resonate deeply with anyone who has faced adversity, reminding us that true freedom lies in mastering our internal states, rather than attempting to manipulate the external world. Consider the implications of such wisdom in our modern context. Daily, we encounter myriad challenges, some trivial, others monumental, that threaten to disrupt our peace of mind. Yet how often do we exacerbate these situations by fixating on elements beyond our control? The art of pausing, reflecting, and discerning what truly matters forms the bedrock of Stoic practice. By focusing solely on what we can influence, our perceptions, actions, and attitudes, we shield ourselves from unnecessary distress and conserve our energy for meaningful pursuits. This principle extends far beyond isolated incidents of traffic jams or missed appointments. Whether navigating personal relationships, professional hurdles, or societal upheavals, Stoicism equips us with the mental fortitude to remain steadfast and composed. It teaches us to view each challenge not as an insurmountable obstacle, but as an opportunity to exercise virtue and resilience. In doing so, we transform potential sources of anxiety into catalysts for growth and self-improvement. As we delve deeper into the teachings of Stoicism, we uncover a treasure trove of insights designed to empower us in the face of life's inherent uncertainties. These philosophical tools are not relics of the past, but living strategies applicable to contemporary dilemmas. They invite us to reconsider our approach to stress and conflict, urging us to adopt a mindset where chaos is not feared but embraced as part of the human experience. Through Stoicism, we learn that the essence of strength does not lie in altering the world around us, but in refining the world within us. Thus, equipped with Stoic principles, we stand ready to master our minds and, consequently, master our lives. The Stoics believed that much of human suffering stems from our misguided attempts to control the uncontrollable. We waste precious energy fretting over things like other people's opinions, the weather, or random accidents that disrupt our plans. Instead of accepting these aspects of life as they are, we fight against them, creating inner turmoil and dissatisfaction. However, Stoicism offers a way out of this cycle. By consciously directing our attention inward to our thoughts, emotions, and choices, we regain agency over our lives. This shift in focus transforms us from passive victims of circumstance into active participants in shaping our destinies. One powerful example of this principle in action comes from the life of Admiral James Stockdale, a Vietnam War prisoner of war who credited his survival to Stoic philosophy. Captured and subjected to years of brutal captivity, Stockdale used Stoic techniques to endure unimaginable hardships. He later recounted how his training in Stoicism allowed him to maintain hope and purpose even in the darkest moments. By focusing on what he could control, his attitude, his resolve, and his ability to inspire others, he found a way to rise above despair. Stockdale's story illustrates how Stoicism transcends theory and becomes a lifeline when life seems most chaotic. In today's fast-paced world, where distractions abound and pressures mount, Stoicism provides a grounding framework for navigating complexity. It reminds us that no matter how overwhelming external circumstances may feel, we always retain authority over our response. This realization is both empowering and humbling. Empowering because it places ultimate responsibility in our hands. Humbling because it forces us to confront the limits of our influence. When we accept this duality, we free ourselves from the illusion of omnipotence and embrace the beauty of imperfection. Practicing Stoicism doesn't require dramatic gestures or wholesale lifestyle changes. It begins with small, deliberate acts of mindfulness. For instance, next time you find yourself frustrated by a delayed flight or a colleague's uncooperative behavior, pause and ask yourself, what part of this situation can I actually change? Then, direct your efforts toward those areas alone. Let go of what lies beyond your reach, whether it's the airline schedule or another person's perspective. Over time, this habit trains your mind to filter out noise and focus only on what truly matters. Moreover, Stoicism encourages us to cultivate gratitude for the present moment. By acknowledging the impermanence of all things, including our own lives, we develop a deeper appreciation for what we have right now. This awareness fosters contentment and reduces the tendency to obsess over future uncertainties. Seneca, one of Stoicism's greatest proponents, advised setting aside time each day to reflect on mortality, not as a morbid exercise, but as a means of sharpening our priorities. Let us prepare our minds as if we'd come to the very end, he wrote, urging readers to live fully and intentionally. Ultimately, Stoicism is a philosophy of action, not resignation. It calls upon us to engage with life actively, making conscious choices aligned with our values. Rather than retreating from difficulty, we face it head-on, armed with the understanding that every challenge carries hidden lessons. Through this lens, setbacks become stepping stones, failures morph into feedback, and obstacles reveal opportunities for growth. The Stoic path is neither easy nor quick, but it is profoundly rewarding. It teaches us to harness the power of choice, transforming chaos into clarity and adversity into advantage. So the next time you find yourself stuck in traffic, or any metaphorical equivalent, remember the Stoic mantra. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Take a deep breath, anchor yourself in the present, and ask the pivotal question, what can I control right now? The answer will guide you toward calmness, clarity, and mastery of both your mind and your life. In the intricate dance of life, where uncertainties swirl and outcomes often elude our grasp, Stoicism offers a clarifying lens through which we can navigate the complexities of existence. Central to this philosophical framework is the concept known as the dichotomy of control, a principle that serves as a compass guiding our focus and energies towards what truly matters. This dichotomy posits a simple yet profound division. All aspects of life fall into two distinct categories: those within our control and those beyond it. Understanding and applying this distinction is not merely philosophical musing, it is a pragmatic strategy for enhancing one's quality of life. Consider the vast array of elements that populate our daily lives: weather patterns, opinions of others, economic fluctuations, health crises, and even the outcomes of our most cherished endeavors. These are examples of factors largely beyond our direct influence. Attempting to exert control over such variables is akin to trying to hold water in cupped hands. It simply slips away, despite our best efforts. The futile expenditure of energy on these uncontrollables leads only to frustration and dissatisfaction. Conversely, when we recognize and accept their inherent unpredictability, we free ourselves from the shackles of unnecessary stress and open up space for peace and clarity. On the flip side of this dichotomy lie the elements firmly within our dominion: our thoughts, decisions, attitudes, and behaviors. Herein lies the fertile ground for real impact and change. By channeling our efforts and resources towards these manageable facets, we harness the power to sculpt our destinies actively. For instance, while we cannot dictate whether it rains on our picnic day, we can decide our reaction to the rain, embracing it as a refreshing interlude or using it as an opportunity to engage in indoor activities we enjoy. This shift in perspective transforms potential disappointment into active engagement with life's offerings. The Stoics advocate for a disciplined focus on what we can control, not out of resignation, but as a means to amplify our agency and effectiveness. This selective concentration allows us to live more intentionally and purposefully. When our energies are directed towards personal accountability and positive action, we cultivate a robust sense of empowerment and fulfillment. We become architects of our own lives, building with the materials available to us rather than lamenting the bricks missing from the pile. Moreover, embracing the dichotomy of control fosters resilience. Life, with its inevitable ups and downs, becomes less daunting when viewed through this Stoic prism. Challenges morph from insurmountable obstacles into opportunities for growth and learning. Each setback is met with a recalibration of effort towards areas where influence can be exercised. This adaptability ensures that our spirits remain unbroken, buoyed by the knowledge that while some battles may be lost, the war against despair is perpetually winnable. In essence, the dichotomy of control is not just a philosophical stance, but a practical tool for living harmoniously in a world rife with unpredictability. By distinguishing between what we can mold and what we must let be, we optimize our life experiences, reduce unwarranted stress, and enhance our overall well-being. As we continue to explore the rich tapestry of Stoic philosophy, this foundational principle remains a beacon, illuminating the path towards a life of mastery and tranquility. Through its application, we learn not just to survive the storms of life, but to dance in the rain, armed with the understanding that true power resides in the choices we make every day. To further illustrate the transformative power of the dichotomy of control, consider the story of Admiral James Stockdale, a Vietnam War prisoner of war who endured 7 grueling years in captivity. Despite facing unimaginable torture and isolation, Stockdale emerged from his ordeal with a profound sense of purpose and resilience. When asked how he managed to endure such harsh conditions, he credited his survival to the Stoic philosophy he had studied before his capture. Stockdale understood that while he couldn't control his physical environment or the actions of his captors, he retained absolute authority over his thoughts, emotions, and responses. He chose to focus on maintaining his dignity, inspiring fellow prisoners, and preserving his mental fortitude. By adhering to the dichotomy of control, Stockdale transformed an impossibly bleak situation into a testament to human endurance and moral courage. Similarly, in our everyday lives, the dichotomy of control can serve as a guiding principle during moments of crisis. Imagine receiving unexpected news that shakes the foundation of your plans: a job loss, a relationship breakdown, or a health diagnosis. Initially, the shock may leave you feeling powerless. However, applying the Stoic framework prompts you to dissect the situation into controllable and uncontrollable components. You cannot undo the event itself, but you can manage how you respond to it. Will you succumb to despair, or will you use the setback as a catalyst for reinvention? By focusing on actionable steps, updating your resume, seeking support networks, adopting healthier habits, you reclaim agency over your narrative. This process not only mitigates feelings of helplessness, but also instills a renewed sense of direction and purpose. Beyond individual resilience, the dichotomy of control also holds relevance in broader societal contexts. In an era defined by rapid technological advancements and global interconnectedness, many people feel overwhelmed by the sheer volume of information and external pressures bombarding them daily. Social media feeds, political discourse, and environmental concerns often trigger anxiety and a sense of helplessness. Yet, Stoicism reminds us that while we cannot single-handedly solve climate change or dismantle systemic injustices, we can contribute meaningfully within our sphere of influence. Whether it's reducing personal carbon footprints, volunteering for community initiatives, or engaging in constructive conversations, aligning our actions with our values reinforces a sense of efficacy and connection to something larger than ourselves. Furthermore, the dichotomy of control encourages us to cultivate emotional intelligence and empathy. Recognizing that others' opinions and behaviors are beyond our sway helps us detach from the need for validation or approval. Instead of expending energy trying to change someone else's mind, we can invest in understanding their perspective and fostering mutual respect. This shift not only enhances interpersonal relationships, but also promotes harmony in diverse settings, from workplaces to families to communities. By relinquishing the illusion of control over others, we paradoxically gain greater influence through authenticity and compassion. Practically implementing the dichotomy of control requires consistent mindfulness and self-discipline. Start by identifying recurring stresses in your life and categorizing them according to the dichotomy. Are you agonizing over a colleague's critical comment? Reflect on whether their opinion truly impacts your work performance or self-worth. If not, let it go. Are you worried about an upcoming presentation? Focus on preparing thoroughly and visualizing success rather than obsessing over hypothetical outcomes. Over time, this practice sharpens your ability to discern between productive and unproductive concerns, streamlining your mental bandwidth for tasks that yield tangible results. Additionally, journaling can be a powerful tool for reinforcing the dichotomy of control. Dedicate a few minutes each day to write down what went well, what challenged you, and how you responded. Highlight instances where you successfully applied the dichotomy and note areas for improvement. This reflective habit builds self-awareness and accountability, enabling you to refine your approach continuously. It also serves as a repository of evidence, demonstrating your capacity to navigate life's vicissitudes with grace and intentionality. Ultimately, the dichotomy of control is a lifelong practice, not a one-time revelation. Like any skill, it demands repetition and refinement. There will be days when old habits resurface and frustrations spill over, yet each time you consciously redirect your focus to what you can control, you strengthen your stoic muscles. Gradually, this discipline becomes second nature, transforming how you perceive and interact with the world around you. You begin to see challenges not as threats, but as invitations to grow stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. In conclusion, the dichotomy of control encapsulates the essence of Stoicism, a philosophy rooted in practical wisdom and timeless relevance. By mastering this principle, we unlock the potential to navigate life's uncertainties with poise and purpose. We learn to embrace our limitations without being defined by them, to celebrate our freedoms without taking them for granted. Above all, we discover that true mastery lies not in controlling external circumstances, but in cultivating an indomitable spirit capable of thriving amidst chaos. As Epictetus famously declared, "Some things are in our control, and others are not. Our opinions are in our control, as are our impulses, desires, aversions. In short, whatever is our own doing." Let us embrace this truth and embark on the journey toward mastering our minds and consequently our lives, transforming obstacles into opportunities. The Stoic approach. In the realm of personal development, few philosophies offer as robust a toolkit for turning adversity into advantage as Stoicism. At the heart of this ancient wisdom lies a transformative perspective. Every obstacle presents a concealed opportunity for growth and enlightenment. This notion is vividly illustrated through the life of Epictetus, a man whose journey from slavery to becoming one of history's most revered philosophers encapsulates the essence of Stoic resilience and adaptability. Born into bondage, Epictetus lived a life initially devoid of choice and autonomy. Yet, it was precisely within these confines that he cultivated an extraordinary capacity to find freedom in thought and perspective. He famously taught that the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. This paradoxical insight suggests that obstacles are not merely barriers to be overcome, but are integral to the process of personal evolution. By reframing challenges as indispensable components of one's path, Epictetus demonstrated how constraints could catalyze creativity and determination. Epictetus's teachings encourage us to view every difficulty as a disguised invitation to develop virtues, such as patience, courage, and wisdom. Consider the metaphor of a blacksmith shaping a blade. The intense heat and hammering, the very processes that might appear destructive, are essential for forging a tool of strength and precision. Similarly, life's trials, though arduous, are necessary for tempering our character and sharpening our abilities. Each setback thus becomes a setup for future success, provided we approach it with the right mindset. To practically implement this Stoic strategy, begin by identifying a current challenge in your life. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" shift your inquiry to, "What can this teach me?" This simple rephrasing redirects your focus from victimhood to empowerment. For instance, if you face rejection in your career, instead of succumbing to despair, consider it an opportunity to refine your skills, reassess your goals, or explore new paths that perhaps align better with your evolving interests and talents. Further, embracing obstacles as opportunities requires cultivating a proactive attitude. Rather than passively enduring hardships, actively seek ways to leverage them for personal gain. This might involve acquiring new knowledge, developing resilience, or strengthening interpersonal relationships through shared struggles. The key is to maintain a forward-looking perspective that views each hurdle not as the end of the road, but as a stepping stone to higher achievements. Ultimately, the Stoic approach to adversity is about transforming our relationship with challenges. It teaches us to see beyond immediate discomforts and recognize the latent potential for growth embedded within each trial. By adopting this perspective, we not only enrich our own lives, but also contribute positively to the world around us, proving that true strength lies not in avoiding difficulties, but in confronting them with grace and ingenuity. Thus, as we navigate the tumultuous waters of life, let us remember Epictetus's invaluable lesson. What blocks our path, indeed, becomes the path to greater wisdom and capability. Take, for example, the story of Thomas Edison, whose relentless pursuit of innovation exemplifies the Stoic principle of turning obstacles into opportunities. Edison famously remarked, after numerous failed attempts to invent a commercially viable light bulb, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." His ability to reframe failure as a stepping stone to eventual success underscores the Stoic belief that perseverance and adaptability are paramount. Edison did not view his setbacks as insurmountable barriers. Instead, he saw them as valuable data points, guiding him closer to his goal. This mindset allowed him to remain undeterred, ultimately revolutionizing the world with his groundbreaking invention. Consider the journey of J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Before achieving literary fame, Rowling faced a cascade of personal and professional adversities. She was a single mother living on welfare, battling depression, and struggling to find a publisher for her manuscript. Yet rather than succumbing to despair, she channeled her hardships into creative fuel. In interviews, Rowling has spoken about how her lowest moments sharpened her resolve and deepened her storytelling. Her struggles became the crucible in which her imagination flourished, leading to the creation of one of the most beloved fictional universes of all time. Rowling's triumph is a testament to the Stoic ethos. Adversity, when embraced with the right mindset, can forge greatness. The Stoic approach also resonates deeply in the corporate world, where leaders often face high-stakes challenges. Satya Nadella, CEO of Microsoft, attributes much of his leadership philosophy to Stoicism. When he took the helm of the tech giant, the company was grappling with stagnation and declining innovation. Instead of viewing these obstacles as insurmountable, Nadella reframed them as opportunities to reinvent Microsoft's culture and strategy. He encouraged employees to adopt a growth mindset, emphasizing that failures were not endpoints, but valuable learning experiences. Under his leadership, Microsoft underwent a remarkable transformation, reclaiming its position as a global leader in technology. Nadella's success demonstrates how embracing obstacles with Stoic principles can drive organizational excellence. On a personal level, the Stoic practice of reframing challenges can profoundly impact daily life. Suppose you're dealing with a strained relationship, perhaps a disagreement with a close friend or family member. Instead of fixating on the hurt or frustration, pause and ask yourself, what can I learn from this situation? How can it strengthen my communication skills or deepen my empathy? By shifting your perspective, you transform the conflict into a chance for personal growth. This approach not only diffuses tension but also fosters healthier, more resilient relationships. Another powerful application of this principle lies in managing health challenges. Chronic illness, injury, or unexpected diagnoses can feel like insurmountable barriers to happiness and productivity. However, Stoicism invites us to reframe these experiences as opportunities to cultivate gratitude, patience, and resilience. Take the example of ultra-marathon runner Scott Jurek, who struggled with injuries throughout his career. Rather than allowing setbacks to derail his passion, Jurek used them as chances to refine his training methods and deepen his mental fortitude. His ability to turn physical adversity into a source of strength enabled him to achieve extraordinary feats, including winning multiple ultramarathons and breaking records. The Stoic approach also extends to how we handle societal and global challenges. Climate change, economic instability, and social injustice are daunting issues that can leave individuals feeling powerless. Yet, Stoicism reminds us that while we cannot single-handedly solve these problems, we can contribute meaningfully within our sphere of influence. For instance, if you're concerned about environmental sustainability, focus on actionable steps like reducing waste, supporting eco-friendly policies, or educating others. By concentrating on what you can control, you not only mitigate feelings of helplessness, but also inspire collective action. This proactive stance aligns with the Stoic belief that individual efforts, no matter how small, ripple outward to create broader change. To integrate this Stoic mindset into your daily routine, start by keeping a reframing journal. Each day, jot down one challenge you encountered and describe how you reframed it as an opportunity. Over time, this practice will train your brain to instinctively seek the silver linings in difficult situations. Additionally, engage in visualization exercises where you imagine overcoming specific obstacles. Picture yourself succeeding despite adversity and note the qualities, such as determination, adaptability, and courage, that enabled you to prevail. These mental rehearsals reinforce your confidence and resilience, preparing you to tackle real-life challenges with stoic composure. Ultimately, the Stoic approach to adversity is not about denying pain or hardship, but about embracing them as integral parts of the human experience. By viewing obstacles as opportunities, we unlock hidden reservoirs of strength, creativity, and wisdom. We learn to navigate life's storms with grace and purpose, emerging stronger and more enlightened. As Marcus Aurelius wisely observed, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Let this timeless insight guide you as you confront life's inevitable challenges, transforming them into stepping stones toward mastery of both your mind and your destiny. In the arsenal of Stoic practices, negative visualization stands out as a uniquely powerful tool, a contemplative exercise that trains the mind to anticipate and embrace life's adversities. This practice involves deliberately imagining worst-case scenarios, not to dwell in despair, but to fortify oneself against the emotional turbulence they might bring. By mentally rehearsing the loss of things we cherish, be it our health, possessions, relationships, or even our lives, we cultivate a profound sense of gratitude for what we have, while simultaneously preparing ourselves to face life's uncertainties with calmness and resilience. The Stoics believed that much of human suffering stems not from the events themselves, but from our attachment to outcomes and the shock of unexpected misfortune. Seneca, one of Stoicism's most influential thinkers, advised setting aside time each week to reflect on potential hardships. He reasoned that by confronting these possibilities in the safety of our minds, we diminish their ability to overwhelm us when they inevitably arise. He robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand, Seneca wrote, emphasizing the psychological armor that forethought provides. This deliberate act of envisioning adversity is not morbid or pessimistic. Rather, it is a proactive measure to build emotional fortitude and inner stability. Take, for example, the story of James Stockdale, a Vietnam War prisoner of war who credited his survival to Stoic principles, including negative visualization. Captured and subjected to years of brutal captivity, Stockdale described how his prior contemplation of extreme suffering allowed him to endure unimaginable hardship without breaking. He knew that fear of the unknown amplifies pain, whereas familiarity with potential horrors diminishes their sting. By repeatedly visualizing the worst possible outcomes, he robbed his captors of the power to instill terror, maintaining an unshakable resolve throughout his ordeal. His experience underscores the transformative power of this practice. It shifts our mindset from reactive panic to proactive preparedness. Beyond resilience, negative visualization also cultivates gratitude. When we regularly imagine life without the blessings we often take for granted, those blessings grow sharper in our awareness. Picture waking up tomorrow to find your home destroyed by fire, or losing a loved one unexpectedly. Such reflections, though uncomfortable, remind us of the fragile beauty of life and deepen our appreciation for the present moment. Gratitude, in turn, acts as a buffer against dissatisfaction and anxiety, anchoring us in contentment even amid chaos. As Marcus Aurelius observed, "When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love." To integrate negative visualization into your daily routine, start small. Dedicate 5 minutes each evening to sit quietly and contemplate one thing you value deeply: your health, your family, your career, and imagine it suddenly gone. Allow yourself to feel the weight of its absence, then return to the present with renewed awareness of its significance. Over time, expand this practice to encompass broader aspects of your life. The goal is not to dwell in negativity, but to inoculate yourself against the paralysis of fear and the sting of loss. By facing these imagined futures head-on, you equip yourself with the mental clarity and emotional strength needed to navigate whatever reality brings. Ultimately, negative visualization is more than a philosophical exercise. It is a form of mental training that prepares us for life's inevitable storms. It reminds us that nothing lasts forever, and that our capacity to endure hardship is greater than we realize. Far from fostering pessimism, this practice empowers us to live fully and fearlessly, cherishing every moment while remaining steadfast in the face of adversity. As Seneca wisely concluded, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. By confronting our fears through negative visualization, we reclaim control over our emotions and step closer to mastering both our minds and our lives. Consider the story of Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor and psychiatrist, whose seminal work, Man's Search for Meaning, offers a profound parallel to Stoic principles. Imprisoned in Nazi concentration camps, Frankl witnessed unimaginable suffering and loss. Yet, he discovered that those who survived longest were not necessarily the strongest physically, but the ones who maintained a sense of purpose and mental resilience. Frankl himself practiced a form of negative visualization, constantly imagining life after liberation and holding on to the hope of reuniting with his wife. Even when faced with the grim reality of her death, he reframed his suffering as a testament to the depth of their love. His ability to visualize both the worst and best possible outcomes fortified his spirit and enabled him to endure unspeakable horrors. Frankl's story exemplifies how negative visualization can transform despair into determination and loss into legacy. Incorporating negative visualization into modern life can be particularly effective in combating the pervasive culture of instant gratification and perpetual distraction. Many of us live in a state of denial about life's fragility, lulled into complacency by the comforts of modernity. We scroll through curated social media feeds, chase fleeting pleasures, and postpone meaningful reflection. Negative visualization acts as an antidote to this superficiality, forcing us to confront the impermanence of all things. By regularly contemplating loss, we strip away the illusions of permanence and awaken to the urgency of living authentically. This heightened awareness enables us to prioritize what truly matters: relationships, passions, and values, over trivial pursuits. Parents, too, can benefit immensely from practicing negative visualization. Imagine a parent who spends 5 minutes each night imagining life without their child, not to induce grief, but to deepen appreciation for their presence. Such reflections can inspire greater patience, attentiveness, and emotional availability. Instead of reacting impulsively to a child's misbehavior, the parent might pause and recall how fleeting childhood is, choosing to respond with kindness and understanding. This practice not only strengthens familial bonds, but also models emotional resilience for the next generation. Professionally, negative visualization can serve as a safeguard against complacency and burnout. Entrepreneurs, for instance, often face unpredictable markets, competitive pressures, and the constant risk of failure. By visualizing the collapse of their business, they can identify vulnerabilities, refine contingency plans, and cultivate the mental toughness needed to persevere. This preemptive acknowledgement of potential failure reduces its paralyzing effect should it occur, enabling entrepreneurs to bounce back with renewed vigor. Similarly, Employees can use negative visualization to prepare for layoffs, demotions, or missed promotions, ensuring they remain adaptable and resourceful in the face of professional uncertainty. Even in the realm of health and wellness, negative visualization proves invaluable. Athletes, for example, frequently employ visualization techniques to enhance performance. By imagining scenarios where they miss a crucial shot or fail to complete a race, they desensitize themselves to the fear of failure and prime their minds for optimal execution. This mental conditioning not only improves physical performance, but also fosters emotional resilience, allowing athletes to recover quickly from setbacks. Similarly, individuals managing chronic illnesses can use negative visualization to prepare for flare-ups or complications, reducing anxiety and empowering them to respond proactively to health challenges. For those navigating grief or loss, negative visualization can provide a pathway to healing. While traditional approaches to mourning often emphasize avoidance or suppression of painful emotions, Stoicism encourages us to confront them head-on. By visualizing the permanence of loss, we gradually acclimate to its reality, diminishing its power to overwhelm us. This process does not negate the pain, but transforms it into a source of strength and wisdom. Over time, we learn to carry our losses lightly, cherishing memories without being consumed by sorrow. To deepen your practice of negative visualization, consider incorporating it into group settings. Sharing imagined scenarios with trusted friends or family members fosters vulnerability and strengthens communal bonds. For instance, a book club might dedicate a session to discussing how characters in a novel would fare if they lost everything. Alternatively, colleagues could engage in a team-building exercise where they brainstorm responses to hypothetical crises. These collaborative explorations not only reinforce individual resilience, but also cultivate collective problem-solving skills. Finally, remember that negative visualization is not a one-size-fits-all practice. Its intensity and frequency should align with your emotional capacity and life circumstances. Some may find daily reflection sufficient, while others might benefit from weekly or monthly sessions. The key is consistency, not perfection. Over time, this practice will reshape your relationship with adversity, transforming fear into anticipation and loss into appreciation. You will emerge not only better equipped to handle life's inevitable challenges, but also more attuned to the beauty and fragility of existence. In conclusion, negative visualization is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy, offering a practical and transformative approach to mastering the mind. By confronting our fears and embracing the impermanence of life, we unlock hidden reserves of gratitude, resilience, and purpose. As Seneca reminds us, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Let us heed his call to live fully, mindfully, and courageously, armed with the wisdom of Stoicism to navigate the storms of life with grace and grit. As we draw this exploration of Stoicism to a close, it is imperative to transition from theory to practice, embedding these timeless principles into the fabric of our daily lives. The essence of Stoicism lies not in abstract contemplation, but in actionable habits that foster resilience, clarity, and purpose. To truly live like a Stoic today, we must embrace small, consistent practices that gradually reshape our mindset and behavior. Let us embark on this transformative journey together, armed with practical steps designed to help you master your mind and, ultimately, your life. Begin each day with intentionality. Before the demands of the world clamor for your attention, dedicate 10 minutes to a reflective exercise rooted in the dichotomy of control. Grab a journal and divide a page into 2 columns. On the left, list 3 things within your control, perhaps your attitude, your effort, or your response to challenges. On the right, jot down 3 things beyond your influence, such as other people's opinions, the weather, or unforeseen circumstances. This simple act of categorization serves as a mental reset, grounding you in the reality of what truly matters. By consciously directing your focus toward the controllable, you create a foundation for productive action and emotional equilibrium. Next, incorporate negative visualization into your nightly routine. As you prepare for bed, spend 5 minutes imagining the loss of something you hold dear. It could be your health, a treasured relationship, or even your home. Allow yourself to sit with the discomfort of this thought, not to wallow in despair, but to deepen your gratitude for its presence in your life. This practice sharpens your awareness of life's fragility and amplifies your appreciation for the here and now. Over time, it will also steel you against the shock of unforeseen losses, enabling you to face adversity with composure and grace. Throughout the day, challenge yourself to reframe obstacles as opportunities. When confronted with a setback, a missed deadline, a strained conversation, or an unexpected expense, pause and ask, what can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger? Draw inspiration from Epictetus, who taught that every impediment carries the seeds of growth. By shifting your perspective, you transform frustration into fuel for progress. Keep a small notebook handy to document these moments of reframing. Reviewing these entries periodically will reinforce your ability to find value in adversity and remind you of your capacity for resilience. Finally, commit to cultivating mindfulness in your interactions. Stoicism emphasizes the importance of aligning your actions with virtue, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance. Before making decisions or engaging with others, take a moment to reflect on whether your choices align with these principles. Are you acting out of integrity, or are you swayed by fleeting emotions or external pressures? This habit of mindful reflection ensures that your actions contribute to a life of meaning and purpose, rather than being driven by impulsivity or ego. Remember, Stoicism is not about achieving perfection but embracing progress. Start small, stay consistent, and trust in the cumulative power of these practices. Over time, you will notice subtle yet profound shifts in your mindset and behavior. You will find yourself responding to life's challenges with greater calmness, clarity, and confidence. And, as Marcus Aurelius so wisely reminded us, waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be. Be one. Let this be your guiding mantra as you step into each new day, equipped with the tools to master your mind, and in doing so master your life. Let's step off this stage not just inspired, but equipped to live boldly, wisely, and fully. Thank you. Stoicism isn't about perfection, it's about progress, one mindful moment at a time. So here's my challenge to you. Start small. Tomorrow morning, take 5 minutes to write down 3 things within your control and 3 things outside of it. Reframe one problem you encounter as an opportunity. And before bed, practice gratitude by imagining life without the blessings you often overlook. These tiny habits compound into extraordinary results. Remember, mastering your mind isn't a destination, it's a daily practice. As Marcus Aurelius reminds us, waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be. Be one.